China has lifted its ban on beef imports from Ireland, reopening a major market for Irish farmers. The ban was imposed 2.5 years ago when an isolated case of BSE was detected in Tipperary. Ireland's beef exports to China were worth about $100 million a year before that suspension. The Irish government has welcomed the news. Well, let's talk to Eddie Punch, the General Secretary of the Irish Cattle and Sheep Farmers Association. Eddie, welcome. Well, the Guinness will be flowing in the Emerald Isle tonight. Just how significant is this?
Well, every market is significant. We're a beef exporting country. 9 out of 10 tonnes of beef we produce is exported. And certainly our focus has been on the European and UK markets for many years, and that will continue. But the demand for beef in Europe is not increasing. In fact, it's projected to marginally decrease. So we need as many markets as we can get. And China as a market is certainly an important one. We had started to make progress in 2019 in getting in there. Then we were interrupted by an atypical BSE case. So we are glad that that's behind us now and we can look forward to supplying them with some extra beef.
That isolated case back in 2020 led to the trade suspension. Are there now measures in place to stop this from happening again?
Well, the truth is that BSE has not been a problem in Ireland for many years now. The atypical case is, these things can happen once in a blue moon. They generally apply to very old cows. So we can never say never, but BSE has not been a problem in Ireland for in excess of 10 years now. So we would hope that this should work smoothly from this point on.
Farmers in Ireland and elsewhere are having a very difficult and expensive winter, it must be said, and the current price of beef perhaps isn't enough to cover the increased cost of production. How confident are you that reopening this market in particular might boost prices?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The cost of farming in livestock systems has absolutely rocketed over the last 18 months, particularly in the three key inputs: feed, fertilizer and fuel. And so the prices that farmers have been getting at the moment, maybe around €5 a kilo, are insufficient, particularly to cover expensive winter finishing operations. In our view, beef price needs to be north of €6 a kilo to the farmer. And we would certainly hope that increased demand and increased markets for our beef will help bring us in the right direction. But the truth of the matter is that unlike dairying, where prices for Irish farmers have kept pace with inflation, it can't be, the same can't be said in the meat sector. And certainly access to additional markets can only be a good thing. But we will have to look. We've had too many false dawns before to say that this will solve the problem. But certainly more markets is more opportunity.
Beef farmers celebrating tonight, but it has to be said that some Green campaigners won't be celebrating and perhaps questioning whether this news really is in line with Ireland's sustainability goals. Lots of debate around the sustainability of beef production, not just there. Yeah,
but I think, you have to face reality, which is that there is a global demand for beef, and that is increasing. Projections show world demand for beef is increasing. And the truth of the matter is that livestock products are certainly very good sources of protein and other essential nutrients like iron, calcium, vitamin B12. And, in a nutrient-dense package, as countries become more affluent, the demand for these kind of nutritious products will increase. So the trick is to try and ensure that the farming sectors or the farming countries that can produce these with the lowest emissions per kilo of output, and that includes Ireland, are the countries that should be supplying this demand. If we don't supply it, somebody else will. So it's really a bogus argument if you look at this on a global scale. I mean, from the point of view of looking at it in a narrow Irish point of view, well, you can say, we should just cut back our national herd. But that's not really doing anything for the global challenge of climate change, which is to produce the nutrients that people want, the nourishment that they want, in the most sustainable farming systems in the countries that are making the most progress in heading towards lower emissions and more sequestration. And Ireland's grass-faced beef finishing system is certainly part of that. And if we don't do it, someone else will.
Eddie, good to talk to you. Thanks very much for coming on the programme. Eddie Punch from the Irish Cattle and Sheep Farmers Association.